everyone, and welcome to the Pip and Pin Podcast. My name is Megan Nodecker, and I'm a knitwear designer from Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. You can find me on Instagram as Pip and Pin, on Ravelry as Knit Pip and Pin, and at pipandpin.ca. Today is February 9th, and it's episode 66, and it has been quite some time since I last filmed an episode. Lots of things have happened, and also nothing has happened because there's a pandemic. So I kind of took a break with podcasting, but I'm not really going to talk about that until after all the crafty catch-up stuff. So I'll have a whole section at the end where I talk about why it is I haven't been around for a couple months. To be fair, I usually kind of take December off. January was just a bit of a time in a good way. Nothing bad happened. So, but again, I'll talk about that all later. Welcome back if you are new, or if not, if you're new, welcome here. If you're new, welcome back. If you're returning, I'm really excited to be starting this again. If you can hear a little pitter-pattering in the background, that is Georgia. She's home from school today with a stuffy nose. And honestly, in the before times, a little stuffy nose, I would send her to school with a box of Kleenex. But we live in different times right now. And yeah, I'm just going to go over the few things we have going on, and then I will get into all of the things that I've been working on over the last 2 months, which, as I was writing it down, didn't seem like a lot, but is actually a lot. I just don't have a lot to show. So we'll see how it goes. So for the first thing that we have going on, we have a make-along in our Ravelry group that's going until the end of February, and it is the Big Blanket Make-Along. I've been working on the Weekender blanket, which is a scrappy crochet blanket I've been working on for a couple years. I have made quite a dent in it, but it's definitely not going to be done by the end of the month, which is fine. My intention was not to finish it, but I wanted to do a make-along just so that everyone could pull them out and work on them. I know lots of people have finished their blankets, which is really cool and encouraging. People have started new blankets that they've been kind of putting off, or people who, just like me, have been putting work into a blanket that's been sitting for a while. Usually I pull mine out in the wintertime. I don't know what she's doing. Yeah, so you can go check out that make-along in our Ravelry group. I'll make sure I put a link to it down below there. And if you have anything that you'd like to share, progress pictures or questions or anything like that, there's a nice bunch of people in there sharing. I think I said I was going to do a prize just for participation. I have a box of prizes, so why not? There will be a prize at the end of the thing, or a couple, I don't know. The other event that we're hosting at the moment is the Sabino Canyon Knit Along, and that is going until April 30th. And that is for all of the patterns in our Sabino Canyon slow release collection. If you're working on any of those, you can go and check out that one. We actually have the 5th pattern, the 5th mystery pattern, coming out on the 11th. So in 2 days, it's coming out. I haven't got it all set up here yet, but if you keep an eye on your email, if you're signed up for our newsletter, or on Instagram, there will be a discount code for when it is first released. So keep your eyes on that. I'm not going to show it to you today, even though it's only in 2 days, but I will tell you the pattern is a wrap. So it is a shawl wrap. Other than that, big old mystery. And that's all we have going on right now. I'm sure I'll be starting, now that I'm back in the swing of working and back in the swing of podcasting and doing stuff, I'm sure I will have ideas for more knit-alongs and more events, but those are the 2 that we have running at the moment. For finished objects, I did finish quite a few things. but a lot of them I don't have to share. One of the big projects that I did was I wanted to knit all of us Christmas stockings. I had made some stockings before, but they were just a little like dreary. I wanted something that was a little more cheerful and kind of vintage Christmassy and not so serious. So I used Faye Kennington, who is Yuki Knits, has 2 stocking patterns. One's top down and one's bottom up, and they have a bunch of like mix and match patterns. So I knit 3 stockings. I knit us each a stocking. Everybody got to pick what they wanted, and they all kind of go together. They use the same colors. It's just cream and red and 2 shades of green. So I kept it pretty traditional, but like they're kind of vintagey feeling. My inspiration was this like tablecloth that I got from the dollar store a few years ago that I love, that this was its last year. So I kind of wanted to preserve a little bit of those colors in some other decor. But of course, all my Christmas stuff is put away. So I packed those up, not even thinking about leaving them out. And I'm not digging them out. So you'll see them next year. I think I took a picture. Maybe I'll put a picture up here if I remember. But other than that, you might just have to wait till next year. I also made, I think I showed this last time. I don't know how far along I was on it, but I did finish the Bumble sweater by Tin Can Knits, and I made that for my nephew, and he's been wearing it every single day, which is great. And I made him, this is the second Bumble I've made him. I made him one when he was about 2. And his little brother, of course, wouldn't wear it. He said, well, it was too itchy. So I made Lennon another one because I know that he really likes warm, swishy things. And of course, Lennon started wearing the new one. So now Bjorn will wear the old one. So now they have like matching sweaters. It's very cute. Same pattern. They're both grays. I think one's gray and white. And then the one that I just made this year is gray. And I use like a Noro for a contrast color. So it's shades of like purple and green. And I think there's like a pink in there. Grays. Lots of things. Again, I'll put a picture up if I have one. I don't know if I do. I'm not a very good podcaster right now. I'll now show you some things that I do have. Be warned though, these are gifts that I made for my fam, and they have been worn and loved since Christmas. It's been quite some time since they were first made. So they are a little scraggly already. But the first thing is I made a pair of High Desert Socks by Lindsay Fowler. And this is a pattern that uses 2 strands of fingering weight yarn held double for like a really squishy DK weight work sock. And I've been wanting to make this pattern for myself for like 2 years, and I haven't. But I did make just in a pair. And there's a special feature of these socks. They have a toe. And the reason is because there's a cat hair all over these. The reason is because we have really, really terribly hard floors in our house. And so we both have slippers or like sandals that we wear as slippers. So mine are kind of the sandals that have the one band over top, and Justin's are flip-flops. And he was lamenting, a few weeks before Christmas how our floors or his feet get cold, but he can't wear socks because they're flip-flops. And so I made these, and he thought they were the most hilarious things, and he wears them all the time. So I think they're brilliant. I'll show you a little close up here. The yarns that I've used are this kind of base color, and I switched the striping sequence a little bit. I wanted them to work more like typical work socks, kind of. So the gray that's all the way through is Knit Pick Stroll in Flagstone Heather. I think it's a tweed, probably. And then the white that's held double with that is Woolberry Fiber Company Berry Cashmere. Very fancy for work socks in Grand's Garden. And then the red, that's for the stripes and the toes and the heels, is Ancient Arts Lascaux Fine in Scarlet, My Dear. So yeah, that was a very, very well received Christmas present. And another one I was making, because I think I made those while Justin was at work, but while Georgia was at home. So she knew about those and she really liked them. So when she went to bed, I started making her own pair. Except kid, and these ones are really trashed because she wears them every day. The bright colors, I think, are some sort of self-striping. I don't remember exactly what it is. And then it's held double with hedgehog fiber sock in boombox. So you get these, like a white with little pops of black and neons and stuff. And then for the heels and the toes, I held it together with a bright pink. And she loves those. Again, the High Desert Socks by Lindsay, Fowler, for those two patterns. And I am going to make myself a pair. I have the yarn. It's sitting right here. I'll grab it. I'm going to use these two. This is this is from Autumn and Indigo, and it's called Flannel. I know she doesn't dye yarn like this anymore. This is old. And then this is Polka Dot Creek in the toffee colorway. And I love this so much. I think those are going to be very, very lovely together. The only thing that's been holding me back is winding this yarn up. It's been sitting here. I've been thinking about it for weeks. Like, it's just been sitting here. And all I have to do is wind up this skein of yarn and cast it on. And I just haven't. I know as soon as I wind that up, I will start them. Who knows when that will be. What else did I have finished? Oh, I also finished, I don't know if I showed these at all, maybe on Instagram, but these guys. So this is a new design I've been working on. The sample is complete. The pattern's pretty much done. We just need to take some photos of it and maybe get a test knitter or two. And they're good to go. It's using slip stitches, which is something I love to do with socks, and a 5 skein mini set. I think this one includes yarn from Midnight Cravings, Lichen and Lace, and Fiddly Dye Works. I'm not sure exactly which is which, but I'm in love with this little scallop. The one thing I have a really hard time with is naming patterns. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments below what you think a good name for these little scallopy socks would be. This yarn actually came from the last round of mini skein sets that I made, and there is actually I think 2 of the Knitter's Night In kits left in this color scheme. So I'm not going to guarantee that you'll get these colors, but in this color theme, I think there's 2 left, and those include a candle and a bag of tea as well. So you can find those in the shop. But yeah, I'm excited about that pattern, and I'm excited to make another pair. I did get a Advent mini set, or what is it called? Yarn mini skein Advent calendar. Yeah, that's the one from a Sweet Fiber. So I have a million more minis and more yarn that did I really need more minis? Not really. So yeah, I gotta knit them up. And I think stripy socks like these are along the same lines of like the sprocket socks, just with a different kind of a different pattern on them. And they just go so quick because you're switching colors and you're doing stuff, and I really like them. And that's it for finished objects. It doesn't feel like a lot because I don't have a lot to show you. Again, I also made 3 stockings and a sweater for a kid who's like a size 8, and worked on my blanket a ton. And I did lots of other stuff. So I have one work in progress right now. And I am very much liking having one. I have a cross stitch that I'm working on as well. And so I just kind of switched between the cross stitch and my one whip, and it's working out lovely. This is, again, a new design. Also, geez, Louise, covered in cat hair. I keep it in a bag, but he's just everywhere. Man. This is him right there, that one. This is a shawl that I'm designing, and this uses Barnyard Knits 50s, so it's 4 50-gram. Yeah, you get 4 skeins that are 50 grams in a set, and I forget what this set is called. I'm pretty sure this dark one is called Pheasant, and that's all I know. But just kind of a top-down triangular shawl, one of my very favorite shapes to wear. I just kind of am striping it. I'm doing some simple little eyelet details, some little pearl bump bits, and switching colors when they need to be switched. It's really, really simple. And that's just exactly what I wanted. I wanted this is excellent movie knitting. I think I'm going to do some sort of border, maybe in a different color, and tassels, because I really like tassels on things. I haven't honestly really decided yet. It's just one of those things. I loved the yarn. I wanted something simple to show it off, and so that's kind of what happened. And that's it. That is it for whips. I have literally nothing else on my needles. Okay, that's a lie. I technically do have a few other things on my needles. I have a pair of Christmas socks that I started, which I think I showed last time, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to rip them out. They're just not turning out the right size. I already know they're going to be too big. The gauge is too loose, and I don't like them. So I'm going to rip them out, and maybe I'll try again next winter to make them. And then I also have a thing that I was working on before it was green. It was kind of a vest. It's been in hibernation for some months. It uses the Brooklyn tweed, their new base, which is really lovely. It's like a cotton, I can't even remember what it's called, but it's a really beautiful yarn. It's just not working with the design that I have in my head is not translating the way that I wanted it to. So it's been sitting for a long time. I think I'm going to just rip it out and use the yarn for something else. So I don't count those because they're getting ripped out. And that's just fine. The other thing that I've been working on, though, is a cross stitch. And this is, I actually got this kit from the thrift store for $6. And I was a little confused when I first got it, only because I don't know if the person who had it made it or not. Like, because I thought it was just everything. Like, all the floss was in there, all the instructions were in there, and then there was also, like, they had gotten the instructions blown up, so there was a bunch of pages of the instructions that are blown up as well. All the floss is there, but then some of the cloth, like, there wasn't enough cloth, like, it had been cut, so there was, I think they made it, but used their own floss, maybe, like, maybe they switched it for, whatever brand they were using, or maybe they switched the colors. I don't know. But anyways, Most of it was there, and I had some cloth, so everything worked out fine. This is it. I don't know really anything about it. It is flowers. It's called Fantasy Floral. Carol Robinson. Galaxy of Glasses. Yeah. So it came with the embroidered floss needle instructions and then the Aida cloth, but it didn't actually have enough of the Aida cloth, so I just used mayo. The thing I liked about this was the colors. I like the colors of it. I like that it's a floral. I think it's very pretty. I also think it was a little bit stuffy in the sense that, like, it's beautiful, but it's also something that would definitely be at my grandma's house, like in her bathroom. So to make it a little bit more modern, I wanted to add some of my own. Here, I'll just take this out. That's a better idea. Here, now you can see it a little better. What I wanted to do was add some words or something over top and just have them not stitched. So I chose to put create across the front here. That's just a word that I like. I'm a maker, so it means create things, create art, create stuff. Also, I like that it has other meanings, like you can create the life that you want. You can create the environment that you want. Lots of things with create that I just enjoy. So I think that'll be a nice reminder to have on my wall one day. So getting my idea onto what I actually wanted to happen was a bit of a task, but essentially I measured out how big the instructions were. So I think the instructions were 15 inches, like the chart was 15 inches across. So I went into Photoshop and I picked my font and I printed it out to scale. And I kind of took a picture of this and overlaid it and did a bunch of other things. So I did that, and then I kind of traced it onto the instructions. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Okay. So I kind of traced it onto the chart and then used a pencil to outline it. So now I know where not to stitch. So I'm just not, like, I don't think I'm going to do anything extra to it. I'm just going to leave it blank. That's the idea right now. The great thing about that idea is if I don't like how that turns out, I can always change it. If I really want to, I can just fill in the words, or I can outline them, or I can do something. Anyways, it's turning out much better than I really. Well, I thought it was going to turn out great, which is why I did it, and it's turning out exactly how I thought it would. So this is how much I have at the moment. Here you can see. Hope you can see. The Ria is there. This is the beginning of the C, and then create is going to be there. Yeah, it's going along really nicely. I think it's all wrinkly, of course, because I just have a little hoop. But I mean, honestly, I cross stitch so rarely. I don't need to get more supplies. I'm perfectly content with the stuff that I have. It's working out very well. And I'm really excited to have this. I'm really excited to create it, and it's very enjoyable to make. So yeah, that is what I've been cross stitching. And those are really the only two things that I've been working on for the longest time. And that's it for all of the crafting stuff. If that's what you're here for, feel free to say goodbye now. But if you'd like to stick around, I am going to talk a little bit more about what I've been up to the past 2 months. So if you're leaving, thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time. The biggest thing that happened over the past couple months was my husband decided to take some time off work. So he actually left his job in December and took about 6 weeks off. It was not for not because he had to. He didn't get laid off or anything like that. It was a very conscious decision for him to take some time off, and just to kind of reconnect with the family and the house. And he was just working way too hard, and it was taking a toll on him and everyone. If you live in a house with people, the moods of everyone affects everyone else. So it was time for him to take an extended break. And then he actually ended up switching companies as well. So he just had his last week was his first week back at work. And if you don't know this, we live in a little 2-bedroom apartment. And so having him here all the time was definitely a change, and which is why I didn't podcast. It was too hard I didn't want to try and squeeze it in when it didn't work, or have him be in the other room, or I would not be able to do it with anybody here. George is in our bedroom right now watching her iPad. So that's the reason why. I had my husband home, which was really nice. We didn't do much. We relaxed. We walked Georgia to school together, which is something that he never really got to do before. We got to pick her up, and we played hooky a couple times because it was a really crappy weather for all of January. It was pouring rain. It's sunny right now, but cold for, I'm not going to talk about the weather too much here, but cold for BC. I'm just going to say that. It's not cold compared to anywhere else. But there was a couple really nice days in January. And so I think during one of the last weeks, we had a beautiful day, and I was just like, let's just take George out of school. We'll play hooky. We went and had a campfire by the river. So we did lots of little things. I mean, of course, we also have lots of restrictions on right now, so there wasn't too much that we could do. But I think we took some advantage of the time that he had here, which was really nice. It was good to have him home. What else happened? Katie and I, I have my list of things. These are the important things that happened over the past couple weeks. Katie and I, if you don't know, she actually moved back. She lived in Hawaii for a couple years, and she just moved back in August. It's been awesome to have her back, except we're under so many restrictions that we haven't actually got a chance to see each other. What we did is we actually, we've been working out of our apartment. I've been working out of my apartment this whole time, and we have all these ideas of things that we want to do. It started kind of with the mini skiing sets, and that was going really well. So we want to continue doing some more things like that, and we wanted to expand, and we were talking about all the different things that we could do. But I kind of just had to say, I can't keep doing that. I can't do more than I'm already doing, because at the level that I was doing them at before, which was about, I think last time I did about 100 skeins of yarn, and it was shoved under my couch and in crevices of my house. We don't have a dedicated space to keep things like that. So I said I would love to do more, and I would love to have more things like that, but we can't because there's nowhere to put it. So for the past while, we had been talking about maybe getting a retail space, or getting an office space, or even getting maybe renting out a basement suite or something that we could use as an office or storage space or something. So what we did is we rented a U-Haul storage unit. And it's been wonderful. We don't like work from it, but all of our like Knit City kind of market things has gotten out of my house and into the storage unit. So the whole back of the unit is that. And then we actually set up like a table and a bunch of shelves and all of our shipping stuff. So we've had a couple like shipping days there, which has been nice. Like everything's all in one place. I don't have to pull from 8 different spots to ship a thing. It's been really awesome. And it's has made a huge difference, and a huge difference in the amount of things that we're able to do. We are working on quite a few new offerings. It's still going to be a couple months, I think for sure, because we still have to work out all the kinks and we need some time together to actually set everything up. But it's a really good step in the right direction, I think. And just to have a spot where everything goes and we can go there and work, and that's what's been missing. And I think that's a big step towards eventually, like, we just keep going in the right direction, I think. And this is a step in the right direction for us. Because now our options right now we have so many options of things that we can do, and we've been trying new things because it's like, oh, we can do this, or we could do this, or we could do this. So we've been trying lots of different things out, and hopefully we'll land on a couple ideas soon, and we'll be able to share them with you. So that's been really awesome to have a space. We're also planning just a weekend where we can work. We both have kids. Her husband right now is in school, and we don't have anywhere to work together. And we do as much as we can on Zoom, but even just finding the time is really hard. So we are planning to do a weekend together so that we can finish all of the ideas and make some decisions about what's going to happen next. So we're in a very, very exciting time with what's happening and what we're able to offer coming up next. There's some really cool things that we want to do and we're going to do. We're just going to do them. The other thing that I've really been excited about this past month, I just started it this week actually, is I've been doing the Minimalism Challenge. If you've been following my stories on Instagram, every day you would see kind of a picture of little snapshot of what I'm getting rid of. And basically the Minimalism Challenge is you get rid of one thing for every day of the month, kind of. So on February 1st, I got rid of one thing. On February 2nd, 2 things. 3rd, 3 things, etc., etc. Today is the 9th. I got rid of 9 things. Most of these things are just things that I don't need in my life or my house anymore. I was talking to Justin the other day, and Justin is my husband, and we've been living in this place for 7 years now, and he just commented like, man, like before when we first moved in, we took such great care of everything, and it was so like everything was displayed nicely, and he's like, what kind of happened? And I was like, honestly, like it's not that we stopped caring, it's just we got so much stuff that we can't display everything because, well, we do just like it's hard. Like it looked much nicer before because there was 3/4 less stuff. We didn't have anything to mess up. Really, is what happened. So I've been kind of taking this challenge to just get rid of some of the things that we don't need. Inspiration for all this actually came from, I've gotten lots of messages from people who are following my stories and saying how much they like it and how inspiring it is. So I'm going to share where I got my inspiration from. And she's a good friend of mine, Sam, and she does the Hand Me My Knitting podcast, which she does once a month. And she also, in January, started a Patreon account. And she's decided to do a no-buy year. She has some rules about that, and she talks about all that. But so she has this Patreon where she is taking you through her no-buy year. And it's not just about no-buy, but it's also about, like, she has knitting challenges and like craft challenges. So I think one of them was to kind of go through your yarn stash. This month is all about clearing out your craft stuff. And just kind of her process. And then she also talks about things like, she does a video update a week, and then usually every once in a while she'll have like a specialty kind of something too. So one of the ones that really stood out for me was like, why are you buying the things that you're buying? So she talked a lot about sales and things like that, and buying things for certain projects that you haven't even started yet and things like that. So I've been keeping that in my mind as I'm kind of decluttering my house as well. But yeah, so if you find things like that interesting or inspiring, or have been inspired by my stories or anything like that, I would really highly suggest. I mean, she is my friend. Like, in real life, we're friends. But also, this is the very first Patreon I've ever been a part of, so I really don't have anything to compare it to. But I really think that for the amount of money, I think it's $4 or something, the content that she's creating and the content that she's sharing and all of the, I feel like I'm getting a lot from it. So even if she wasn't my friend, I would be sharing that with you. It is a very, very cool page if you're into things like that. What else have I been doing? Oh, I feel like lots and also nothing. I kind of have it. I feel like that's been the general theme, like, to everyone's life right now, is just everything and absolutely nothing is happening. Hopefully I'll get my house under control. It's not out of control right now. It's just too much. Too much to clean, too much to organize. Every second day my desk is a disaster because there's nowhere to put anything. Anyways, I'm going to end there. I've been rambling for a really long time now. I hope you enjoyed the couple of things that I had to share with you today, and hopefully I will have a little bit more to share next week. I don't know. I know I was doing it weekly before, and I liked the routine of doing it weekly, but sometimes I feel like I just don't really have enough to talk about because I'm not crafting a whole ton. So I don't know, maybe there's some other videos that I could make instead. Like, if you wanted to know more about how I altered my cross stitch pattern, maybe that's something I could do. I know someone had wanted someone had wanted a tour of my yarn space. So maybe after, can you go do that somewhere else though?
No.
Ooh, yum. So maybe after I do, maybe I'll take you along my organizing journey of my yarn stash. Every about 6 months or so, I like to organize it. I don't have a huge stash, but maybe that could be a video. Who knows? Maybe I'll just start doing like an update regular podcast every 2 weeks and then something extra every week. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Maybe that's something Katie and I will plan when we have time to plan things. All right. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me. It's really lovely to be back. Yeah, I will see you again in a week or two. Bye.